And
Wonderful.
you see how I hold the camera still, Cornelia. Learn from that. Learn from that. Okay, well, I'm gonna take another one. See, everybody else is just snapping without saying nothing. But I'm gonna tell you.
We're walking. Sophia, this way too. Yes. All right. So we're gonna cut the cake. Go ahead. I'm videotaping it.
Video, huh? Oh, yeah, I'm taking a movie right now. They don't know it, but this is a movie right now. Every move you make, every smile you
wonder why? Yeah, let's go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy
birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
I'm doing the challenge. All right, we ready for the camera? Happy birthday to you.
Make them later.
Get over there. I'm afraid to get too close. I've never seen that.
Happy birthday to you.
Our good friend, Cassandra, we go way, way back. Ovid and I. Sophia.
Cornelia.
Oh, I'm sorry, Cornelia. Well, I don't know where I got that from, but I thought I got it wrong. This is our first meeting. That's our first one. But
Cornelia.
Cornelia.
Her family calls her Nisi.
Okay, Nisi.
Yeah.
Nisi. Ovid and I go way, way back. And like, I'm going to go, Sophia, back memory lane. Down memory lane. What do you want me to do? Okay.
Come over and stand beside me so I take a picture with you.
I met Ovid when we were very young. It was in school. I'm not quite sure what school it was. Because you went to Broadus, didn't you?
No, yeah.
You went to Broad?
Vaughn first.
That's right. And then you transferred to Broadus.
Well,
Then you went to the
it was Fillmore then before it was Broad.
There we go.
Fillmore, yeah.
And Ovid, like Sophia said, was always one of the smart guys. Everybody saw Ovid as smart, and Ovid knew everybody. Everybody liked Ovid. More so in middle school, Nisi. More in middle school. Now, Nisi, does he? You know he's a good singer. Did you know that?
Oh, yes. I
guitar.
I certainly heard while we were dating.
I first heard him sing, not play the guitar. I heard that later. And Sophia, back at Whiteman Airport, Ovid was with a group called Up With the People. And he made such an impact on me. Now, we weren't that tight then, but I knew Ovid because, oh, by the way, Ovid through our newspaper.
Yeah.
He had the best job. All the kids wanted the Herald Examiner.
Yeah, Herald Examiner, boy. That's going
But he
back.
goes to this event at Whiteman Airport, and he's singing with this group called Up With the People. And he goes, "What color is God's skin?" You remember that? Yeah. What color is God's skin? And the whole place was just lit up, and he was the main singer there.
One of the main
And
singers.
now I would say his singing wasn't that great.
Hey.
But he did much better playing the guitar. Now, I was, Ovid and I, we kind of did this quick. We became roommates. I got thrown out the house. So I needed to stay someplace, and Ovid and I, we hooked up. Ovid, you know what it was? It was we went and looked at an apartment on Columbus Day.
Okay.
And we just did it.
Yeah, okay.
And we moved on in.
Yeah.
And then I knew he played at Nisi a guitar.
Well, Harry, tell the truth, Harry.
there were three of us. The three of us sharing that apartment. Harry, tell the truth.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. What impressed me about that, Ovid would go out to a community activity, a community event, and the next day, and he'll come home that night, write the story up, and it's printed the next day. I thought that was fantastic, because I'm going to be like, blah, 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 blah. What would I say? Ovid had it all down, so he had that writing in his blood. He was a good writer, and he played pretty good guitar. I think we were a good supportive team, and we go way, way back. Ovid had the Herald Examiner job, and I had the Sun, San Fernando Valley Sun. And but that was about 12, you might have been 14. But the Sun was not as, it didn't have the prestige like the Herald Examiner, that kind of thing. So yeah, it was a free paper. We had to pay for the Herald Examiner. Yeah. So, but Ovid's been a good friend, and even when my kids were young, he'd come by the house and visit us and spend some time, and we shared a lot. And like you say, Ovid, it's not too many people that can go that far back in time. And you've been a good friend, and when we heard the 65th birthday, it was no question. And I wanted to share with you. I got a good friend that lives on my block, down the block, and he was doing his birthday party. And he gave me notice first.
Really?
But who has priority?
Hey.
Ovid has priority.
I'm impressed.
And
You are a good man, Harry Taylor.
Thank you very much.
But I'll tell you, because you are a good man, Ovid, we had to be here. And, you know us. That's from day one.
God.
Day one, the kids coming about.
Yeah.
And we just appreciate the journey. And God's been good to you. And I'm going to put a little spirituality into it. I'm just going to say that He continue to bless and keep you guys together. 28 years.
28 years.
That is wonderful. And to Him be the glory.
Amen.
Okay.
All right.
Cheers. Cheers, Harry. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
You know, right? But this, trust us, this was a whole lot more than $100 to throw this party, and the time and the efforts that she put into it. And she's been a great mother for 87, for 65 years. She's been a great mother, and you know, as most of you know, or some of you know, for most of my working life, I was self-employed. And there were times I'd have to pick up the phone and say, Mom, that ad I was counting on for the newspaper didn't come through this week. Can you tap me over? And, you know, but so she was there through thick and thin times and helped me to survive. And now that I can do for her some, it feels good that I can pay her back for partially. Because of course I can never pay her back entirely for all the love and all the support, but I can pay her back some. And my goal in the next few years, especially when she retires in maybe 5 years or so, and do more traveling and being back there with her more, because she's had some health problems, and I want to be. And she has a hard time now sometimes going to the grocery store, you know, and that kind of thing. And I want to be there for her. More than just once a year at Christmas or birthdays, but at least every couple of months maybe, be able to go back for a week or so. So anyway, I want to thank her for all her support and for putting this together. And then I want to thank my wife, because it hasn't been easy to be married to a self-employed person for all those years. There were a lot of ups and downs. And a lot of women. Cut it. Thank you. There's a lot of women who say, "Oh, he ain't bringing home a steady paycheck. I ain't gonna put up with this. You know, because some, you know, I mean, when Harry, I had one check when the state had a program, and they do it here in California too. You know, people the state owes money to, who have moved and the state can't find them, so they run all the names in the newspaper. And they call it back in Arkansas, they call it the Great American Treasure Hunt. Okay, and some people have $100 coming, or 1,000, or 10,000, whatever. Okay, so they ran all these names of folks in Little Rock and Pine Bluff in Arkansas. Probably 5 or 10,000 names they ran in my paper as a legal ad. Here I got a check that week for $5,000.
Is that right?
For 1 week paper, a $5,000 check.
Wow.
So, but then I might go three or four more months before I made another $5,000. So it'd be up and down. But she stuck with me through all of that, and she's been very supportive. And she doesn't always say a lot, or she doesn't, but she's there. I'll tell you a funny story. Your mom first came to visit us after we got married. Cornelia, Linda, you appreciate this, or you probably won't appreciate this, but she cooks every night. And cooks dinner every night, and she, I can't turn on the washing machine. I don't know how, and I never learned. And when I try to help, sometimes she'll tell me to get out of the way because I'm in her way. So go sit down, right? And the mom came to visit us the first time, and Cornelia made dinner, served my plate at the table, did all that. And Mom said, Cornelia, now you sit down. Ovid can do something. I said, Mom, be quiet. We got a good system here, Mom. Just be quiet. And so she's been great. She's been very supportive, and now that I'm in a more stable environment, a more stable situation, and semi-retired, things are smoother for us, and so I'm hoping to be able to bring her home before 5 years are up, so she can, so we do more traveling and see Mom more often, and that kind of thing. Thirdly, I want to thank dear friends like Harry and Linda Taylor, who I haven't seen them since our last party. Mom threw a party for me and William 15 years ago when I turned 50, and he had just retired from AT&T. Mom threw a party for us then, and they were there. But life happens, and life gets in the way, and we haven't seen each other in 15 years. But now I've got Harry's cell phone, and we probably texted 5 or 6 times in the last month or two, and I know we're gonna stay in touch. And the next time I'm back in LA, I know I can text him and say, Harry, I'm gonna be in LA, let's meet for lunch, let's do this. And we'll get together. And I have no doubt. And I was telling some people, my mother and Harry and a few other people, about how you can't always count on high school friendships to last 40, 50 years. Because people move, people get married, and especially people like Harry and Linda who have kids and grandkids, that has to be their first priority, and that's understandable. So I really appreciate the fact that they're still here, they're still around, even though we haven't seen each other in 15 years. I know I can pick up the phone, call him or text him and talk to him, and he's there. So I really do appreciate that. And I appreciate all of you coming. And I just want to say, that used to be 65. That was the end, man. 65?
New 45.
A true fact. Most black men, her father, for example, who died at 60 or so, most black men did not collect Social Security for a long time because they were dead. They died in their 50s or early 60s. Okay, so now 65. The people 65 now are running marathons, all right, and they're running Fortune 500 companies, and they're doing some big things. And it's funny how that's changed over the years, because they would have called them the last year when I turned 64. And I like the Beatles. I'm a big Beatles fan. I'm a kind of strange person when it comes to music. I like some of everything. Motown, of course, with the Beatles, the Stones, and what have you. So Paul McCartney wrote a great song when he was like probably in his early 20s. He said, "Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64?" Because that was ancient. That was ancient back then. 64 years old, you were in a wheelchair. You were crippled or whatever. You were down, right? So I said all that to say this. Although I'm 65, I'm drawing Social Security, and I'm kind of semi-retired, but I'm still active in some things, and maybe contacting some of you about something I'm doing now. Because my hero, or one of my idols, is Warren Buffett, right? 86 years old, right? The third richest man in the world, and still trying to make money, right? He's still doing his investments. He's still active. He's still out there. So I don't plan on sitting in a rocking chair. I don't plan on just playing shuffleboard or whatever, the old stereotypes of 65, 70-year-old people. I still plan on doing some business. I still plan on doing some work and some investing, some traveling, and that kind of thing. So I just want to say thank y'all for coming. And I met some new friends tonight I haven't met before, and old friends who I haven't seen in 15 years. But like I told Harry, now I plan to live to be 100 years old, of course. And I wanted to bring a newspaper, some of my papers to show y'all. But we have a woman in our town who just died, but she lived to be 100 years old. And she's very active. She still had a sharp mind. She was still, and her daughters go to our church. And so that's my goal, is to be 100. And her mom is 87, like she said. And I think she can make 100, although she says she can't, but I think she can. Her sister is like, what, 93?
You can make it.
And she slowed down some, had some health problems, but she still has a sharp mind. So anyway, so I feel I have at least 20 more good years. And I don't plan on just idling away. So anyway, I want to wrap it up because I don't want to go too long here. But thank you all for coming. I do appreciate this. And to Mom again, thanks for putting this all together. I know it was an endeavor and a big and expensive in time and money. And thank you all for coming. And I hope to see all y'all again. Thank you.
Let's give a toast.
Thank you.
Makes it all happen. You're gonna realize that retirement is so much fun. You're gonna wish you'd have retired when you was in kindergarten. Speak up, bro, brother. Speak up. Okay, I'm gonna say something because this brother was so soft-spoken. I had to put a stethoscope on his chest to find out what he really said. So I will speak out with the voice that God has endeared me with. I want to thank God for the best brother God has ever endeared me with. And I want to thank God for the mother that nurtured both of us so we could reach our full potential. All of you that are standing here today, sitting here today actually, you would not have known. We would have been a speck on Earth's gravity, lint on the earth, if not for my mother. So everything that has evolved from, I was born in 53, you were born in what, 51, Ovid? 52. Everything that has evolved from that, my mother has to get 100% of the gratitude. Now, I'm just thinking back right now. I know my father was an alcoholic. She rescued us out of the house where she was getting beaten.
Excuse me.
No, I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to tell the truth. I'm going to tell the truth. She rescued us and sent us to LA to safe shelter. We came to LA together. If not for my mother, none of this would have ever happened.
Amen.
So now, once again, I want to give a round of applause to my mother.
Well, I'm getting ready to leave, but I just want to say, we didn't know each other. Although we went to the same school, we passed each other like this.
Yeah.
Right. But anyway, congratulations. It's great to be 65.
Amen.
I'm 65 in a couple months. I'll be 66. Cornelia, it was nice to see you. Nice to meet you.
For the invitation. We always enjoy you. And thank you so much. It was nice meeting everybody. And may you have 65 more.
Well, that'd be cool. Yeah. Be 130, but